The two ordinary hosts of this podcast are not professionals on parapsychology, extraterrestrials, cryptozoology, nor would they describe themselves as religious or prone to superstition. They'd also like to make it known that this show is not intended for children or those with sensitive sensibilities. Please listen at your own discretion. And remember, the truth is often anecdotal.
Hello, listeners. I am Mr. R.
And I'm Mr. X.
A paranormal dudes.
Reading paranormal stories.
Tell me, Mr. X, when's the last time you saw La Llorona?
I thought you were going to ask me when the last time I cried was. I don't think I've ever seen La Llorona. The last time I cried, though, was the other day. I just finished watching Ted Lasso, and I've never seen a show that has made me tear up so much.
Hold on a fucking second. One of my earliest memories with you is watching your favorite movie. You were so excited to show me. You were so excited to show me your favorite movie. We had just moved in together, and you were like, "Oh, it's my favorite movie. Like it holds so much, space in my heart." And I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch it." And it was me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And at the beginning of the movie, I don't want to spoil anything, but by the end of it, I'm bawling. I'm crying so hard at this heartbreaking film. And I look over at you, and you've just got this little smile on your face. This little, you were like I'm over here like distraught, and you're like, what a great piece of cinema. Like, the emotional spectrum that you hold is devastating. Meanwhile, Ted Lasso made you cry?
Okay, so Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl did make me cry very hard when I first saw it.
Oh,
it still does every time. Even in that moment that you remember, I was tearing up. It just was not as bad as you.
I'm a crier, though. I cry a lot.
Ted, the World Cup was happening these last couple months, and I had a free subscription to Apple TV, and I was like, I'll give Ted Lasso a watch, and fucking great show. And man, there are just moments in that show where they're so kind to each other that it literally just kept bringing me the tears. I was like, why am I crying right now? But I think we know why La Llorona cries. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like, we're familiar. And it's safe to assume that anyone listening is familiar, but I mean, we may as well go over it.
I know nothing about the lore of La Llorona.
Oh,
I think
really?
she killed her own kids. I watched that terrible movie not too long ago, and it kind of explains it. But I believe it's like a bride who kills her own children to get back at her husband or something along those lines. Why don't you look it up, and why don't you tell me, white guy of the podcast?
To be fair, you're not Mexican, so
I'm not, but I do have a La Llorona story. So
you personally do?
Kind of, but tangentially, yeah.
Okay, here we go. La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, is a famous Hispanic folktale about a ghost who haunts bodies of water. Driven mad by her husband's infidelity, a woman named Maria drowned her children in a river. Consumed by grief, she drowned herself too. Yeah, okay. She drowned herself? That's tough to do, I think. She is now cursed to eternity. What? Oh, to eternally search for them, crying, "Mi mijos, mi mijos."
Which means my children.
Yes. Dates back centuries and serves as both a tragedy and a cautionary tale.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I lived in Puerto Rico for 5 years during my teenage years. And I remember specifically there was a whole thing about La Llorona. I'm on the Wikipedia page right here. I was scrolling down, and they have literally different interpretations for every Latin America country. So there's one here for Puerto Rico that says, in Puerto Rico, the legend merges with that of the vanishing hitchhiker. According to oral tradition, a woman appears on the Las Calabazas bridge asking for a ride. If ignored, she suddenly appears inside the car. If refused, a tire will soon puncture and she will appear again. She is believed to be the spirit of a woman searching for her children. So when I was living in Puerto Rico, I remember specifically there was a La Llorona scare, and it was all over the news for weeks. People kept claiming that they'd seen La Llorona. And I remember I'd come home after school, we'd be eating dinner and they'd have like the news playing or something, and they'd be talking about these stories about people running into La Llorona. Which to me, even at like 13 or 14, whatever age I was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
But
crazy that it's on the news.
Yeah. Hispanic culture is very superstitious. So this kind of stuff, I'm surprised wasn't news more often. But yeah, that went on for weeks. And I remember it got to the point where I've told this story to you while recording the podcast before, but I cut it out of that episode because it was just taking too much time. But I remember it was around the same time these stories were in the news, but my uncle had bought me like a little plot of land out a town over, kind of in the middle of nowhere, kind of a useless piece of land, honestly. But I think it was an excuse for him to hang out with like this old guy that lived in like a shack, literally just like off the road near this plot of land. And the closest thing to this shack was like a store, but it was quite a walks away. And my uncle would take me, my twin brother, and my cousin out to go visit this old man. We'd bring him food and beer, and they would play dominoes with him for like a little while. And I remember we were like, let's go walk to the store. Let's go get a soda. And so we're walking to the store. Sun is still out, and it's kind of going down. It's getting darker and darker, and there's no street lights or anything out in this random ass field that we're pretty much walking through. And eventually it just got completely dark. And me, obviously a skeptic. My twin brother, I'm not really sure what he believes, honestly, but I know he didn't believe in this. He didn't believe that the Llorona was out there, but our cousin did believe. And boy, was he already scared of the idea of running into something as we were walking to the store. And so me and my brother just started fucking with him. We literally just were like, oh no, what if we run into La Llorona? And one of us would like fall behind a little bit, and we'd do like a little wail, like, and we scared the shit. He started crying. Our cousin started crying, and I would feel bad if he wasn't such an asshole, but we were just kind of like, okay, man, fuck the sodas. Let's just go back to the shed. And he fucking ran all the way back by himself. I'm like, weren't you just scared? You just left us back here. But
yeah, right, I mean, man. He doesn't have to be faster than the weeping woman. He just has to be faster than you.
I guess in Puerto Rico, it doesn't say anything about water, but like, we weren't even near any water. So I don't know. What, we didn't have a car. What was she going to do to us?
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I remember very vividly that being like a huge news story for a little while I was living in Puerto Rico, and thinking, wow, this is nuts.
I don't have any stories like that.
No, being so close to Mexico, you've never.
No, it's like where I spent most of my life. It was exclusively rednecks and Mexicans, and the most, like, I guess the most boogeyman we ever heard from the Mexican culture down there was it called the cucuy?
Yeah, it's the boogeyman, essentially.
Is that just what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess the boogeyman is just kind of like a blanket statement, right? It's a bugaboo. I guess this is pretty much where the name comes from, yeah. So, but yeah, I've heard the cucuy from like in Puerto Rico too. Like it's just a bunch of stuff that mean grandmas make up to keep their grandkids in check.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had anything like that.
And That's fair, because I don't think she goes after white people.
And why would she? We've done nothing wrong.
Actually, I'm pretty sure watching that movie, I don't think it goes after any white people.
Oh, really?
Not that I can remember. But anyways, this week, we're discussing La Llorona. I didn't have a whole lot of time to prep, so I found one story, but it has a shit ton of comments with several stories scattered throughout them. So I thought we'd definitely be able to make this last an hour. So,
Heck yeah.
But because it's only one story, and I don't want to change our format too much, we're going to go ahead and just do a quick ad break before we jump into it. And then, we'll have we'll see what the Llorona has to bring to the podcast.
All right.
Okay, this story is from the Paranormal subreddit. Posted 7 years ago from a since deleted user. It's flared with encounter, and it's titled, "My Mom Saw La Llorona in Mexico when she was 15. Okay.
Now, just because of the title, this is a secondhand story being posted. Mm-hmm. So, right off the cuff, take a drink.
Yes, and I will say I was going to do our normal format, pick 4 stories and just pick 3 comments. One, I found it very difficult to pick just 3 comments from this post that weren't their own stories. And 2, all the other stories were the same thing. It's like my dad saw it when he was young in Mexico, or like my cousin just came back from Mexico and she just saw it. There's like a few firsthand accounts, but it's pretty much this. And I think one of the stories specifically was like, this was told to me and my siblings by my mom about my grandma. Like this story is being passed down generations and stuff. So do with that info what you will. But this story goes like this.
Okay.
All right. So this story has been told to me by my mom a few times. And in every single time, I still get that creepy, eerie feeling that someone is watching me. Is it your mom looking at you as she tells you the story?
As she tells the story.
My mom is from a small town in Mexico located in Zacatecas. When she was around 14, she had the habit of waking her mom up to go to the restroom since it was an older home and the restroom was located outside. My mom tells me that it was around 3 a.m., the witching hour, take a drink, when she woke up and felt that the need to use the restroom urgently. So she began calling out for her mom. After a while of her mom not responding, she began getting agitated and started screaming. She was... Okay, well, hold on. First off, this happened around when she was 14, but the title says 15. And she's just screaming for her mom?
Go on.
I mean, I get, especially in like, I don't even know if like my ex was from Zacatecas. I don't actually know anything about the area besides the fact that it's still kind of like this, houses where all their plumbing and stuff is outside and whatnot.
Yeah.
I can understand the need to like want someone there with you when you go, but like screaming from afar seems a bit much, right? At this point, my mom turns around and at the foot of her bed, she sees her mom standing there. She was wearing a white robe, but had a very bleak expression on her face, and both of her arms were extended. My mom said that she suddenly felt extremely cold and a huge sense of dread. She had never seen her mom wear a white robe. That's when she looked down and saw her quote, mom's feet weren't touching the floor. At that moment, she screamed again and quickly threw the covers over her head. Should that be a drink?
I don't know.
It's very close to just going straight back to
bed. Yeah.
I guess it is the only defense against the unknown. Her mom, wearing something completely different, runs in to find my mom shaking her head. I'm sorry. Her mom, wearing something completely different, runs in to find my mom shaking in her bed. Nobody believed my mom. Everyone told her it was a dream, until a few days later, there was a power outage. During this, my mom and a few of her siblings, with her parents, all decided to sleep in the living room. Around the same time, at 3 a.m., they heard the same undeniable wails of La Llorona down their street. None of them slept that night. Okay, well, you didn't say anything about the crying this first time. You just said she was hovering in front of the bed, arms extended.
Right. So, okay, so I guess we should have mentioned the threat of La Llorona is like she's still looking for her kids, right?
Yeah.
And she can mistake a child for one of her kids, and I guess re-drown them. Maybe is that the? I don't really know. Like, does she take you away like in a bag? Like, I don't know what the
is the threat. Let's see. In Mexico, the story of La Llorona goes that an indigenous woman named Luisa falls in love with Don Nuño de Montes Carlos, who abandons her, and in revenge, she stabs the 3 children they had together. The woman is burned or hanged and becomes La Llorona, who wanders through the streets of Mexico City, weeping over the tragedy. One aspect that varies in the stories is that the narrative says happens during an encounter with La Llorona. Folkloric accounts agree that more than her physical appearance, the terror produced by La Llorona comes from her chilling wail, and often there is no direct contact with the specter. However, this can change. In some stories, whoever sees her may die, although these versions are the least common. Oh, so nothing happens, I guess.
Is it like a Mothman thing? She's just like, oh, there she is. Better be careful.
Well, like Mothman is like an omen, right?
Right.
When Mothman appears, bad things then happen. And I'm pretty sure we've covered other like kind of entities where that was the case, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess I always just thought that she'll like mistake you for her children and then take you away, right?
That's a more interesting version, I think.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. So this OP, their mom has an encounter, sees this ghost. The ghost disappears, and then the next day, her family hears it down the street. What if that was just somebody crying down the street?
Something I think we should all consider about every like ghost or cryptid story is that it could just be a person. Yeah, no, just like it could, like crying happens a lot, but maybe not out in public, right? But like, it's just something to consider.
I don't know. I've had some encounters with some public criers, I guess. Well, okay, let's see what let's hop into the comments. A lot of these are their own stories. Maybe they differ. Maybe they can tell us more about what could happen with the La Llorona.
Maybe we'll get some more information.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and read that first comment?
First comment, posted 7 years ago, says, my dad has a cool story about this. When he was young... Oh, another secondhand. This is take a drink.
Yep.
When he was younger, let's say 7, he lived in Mexico in a small town in Jalisco. Is that
Jalisco?
Jalisco. The local kids would play a game they called Vampire, which was just tag, essentially. They used to play outside of town in the wooded area at night, which is crazy already. When the game had started, him and 2 friends decided to hide together. They so is it tag or is it hide and seek tag? Okay. They decided to hide together. They ran down to the river near the town and crouched behind some bushes about knee-high. It was then that they started to hear rustling in the water. At first, my dad said that they thought it was a cow crossing the river, but couldn't believe that a cow would cross such cold waters. So they all stared at the source of the noise. That's when they saw what looked to be a woman in a cloak of some sort with her head down so you couldn't see her face. My dad said no one really said anything because they were in shock at what they were seeing. They noticed that person was coming towards them at a gradual pace. My dad said that when he noticed that the figure wasn't actually walking but floating, like an inch off the ground, is when he started to run. They ran back to town to see some of the kids already back with a shocked look on their faces too. All the kids saw the same thing apparently. That was the last time they played that game.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. That was near a body of water, whereas this
yes.
OP's story is in a bedroom, right? Let's see. Somebody here says, "Ooh, La Llorona is often seen near a body of water since her children got drowned there, whether by her or not." So, yup, it's her. Okay, maybe Wikipedia isn't the best source for, I don't know, getting the information out of this.
Yeah.
But then again, we always come across like different information, right? As we're looking into stuff. Okay, let's see another comment here. A different story. Visiting family in Lenaras, Mexico, long ago. When we were young, we seen her as if she was floating low to the ground in a white dress, going from house to house, screaming and grunting at the house that wasn't unlocked or had open windows. Okay, hold on. I already have an issue with this. What do you mean you're just watching this happen?
Yeah, like, yeah, you did nothing about this?
Also, she just doesn't give up, I guess. She's just kind of like, oh, nobody responded here. Let me go to the next one. She's like trick-or-treating for scares or some shit.
So any house that didn't have open windows or was locked, she was just like,
or unlocked, I guess. So only the houses she could get into.
Oh, I see. Okay.
She's like, hey, lock your doors and windows.
Oh, it's very important. This is very unsafe.
Do you not just hear me scream at the last house, lock your doors and windows? As she drew closer to the house, we could hear her breathing as if it were amplified. When she got to my stepsister's house, she looked in the window, but did not see us because Mom stuck us under the blanket and told us to be very still. We did not see her that night. What do you mean? You literally just said you were watching her go house to house. But the next day, going to Monterrey, Mexico, we seen her on the side of the road, all in white, screaming, the look on her face as if she had been crying for hours, a pale skin and soaking wet. No matter how much I try and block out things that seem to be the one that always come.
What?
No matter how hard they try to block things out, that seems to come through, I guess. I don't believe your story. I'm sorry, but I maybe this happened, but maybe it was just a troubled woman freaking terrorizing your town, I guess.
There is one thing scary about this story in that it is that Mom stuck us under the blanket, right?
Yeah.
That is scary is when a parent is scared. Like as a kid, the bravest person around you should be at least one of your parents. But if they are scared, yuck. Yuck, no thank you.
That would be terrifying for a kid. And maybe this was a real threat. Maybe it was something a lot more serious, and the parents just said it was a ghost, right? To kind of give their kids a more whimsical experience, I guess, even if it was terrifying. But yeah, I don't know. It's just if it was a ghost you were seeing, that's crazy, because I don't know. I've never heard of ghost experiences lasting a whole night, really, from like a front row seat, I guess.
Yeah. No, I've read some creepypastas that go on for all night, but
yeah. Oh, I mean, like there's stuff like sounds and stuff. I'm sure you could be hearing things all night. Cool. Seeing something through the whole night seems a little different to me. But then again, they also said we did not see her that night. So
maybe they just mean like she didn't come by our house.
Yeah.
She didn't come in.
Our doors and windows were locked, so
they were both locked, and she left us a Coca-Cola on our porch.
Okay, so hold on. They said we seen her as if she was floating low to the ground in a white dress going from house to house. Okay. The OP does respond to this commenter and says, OMG, that's terrifying. That's exactly what my mom said, that she was floating. It was her mom's face, but the expression behind it was blank, her eyes dead with no sign of life.
Wait, was that in the original story?
Well, okay, in the original story, she says she saw her mom in a white dress. And I was wondering that myself. I was like, okay, did she saw what she thought was her mom, or did it look like her mom? And I guess it looked like her mom.
Huh. Oh, I see. Yes, okay.
That original commenter responds to the OP. They have like a little thread here. But the original commenter says, I live in Texas, about 100 miles from Women Hollering Creek, closer to San Antonio, Texas, where the story to this day is told to kids and reports of where she is seen. Okay, so this wasn't in Mexico. This is in
Texas.
This is in Texas, which is, Are you sure this wasn't just Halloween or something?
Oh no, that'd be a fun twist to all of these stories. The next comment's pretty short. It says, I live in New Mexico, and everyone has a La Llorona story, even myself. Facts. That and the quote, or I'm sorry, this is emphasized, whispers. They want to whisper this next part. Skinwalkers.
That and the Skinwalkers.
Discord didn't like that, but I assume what you did.
I don't think my waveform like that either.
The OP does say, OMG, please tell me your Skinwalker story, and go ahead and throw in your La Llorona story too. But we're not talking about the Skinwalkers.
Nope, and that original commenter doesn't even respond.
Never gets back to us.
Although someone here says, both Skinwalker and La Llorona I've heard so many things about, and they're just accepted as real by the people who live there. But so many people not from those areas haven't even heard of them. It's crazy.
It's not crazy.
I don't know. I feel like fucking Wikipedia literally has an entry for every Latin American.
Yeah.
And Spain. Spain's on here too. So it gets around. And then the Skinwalkers, everybody, that's another thing that always comes up in our comments. People are like, maybe it's a Skinwalker. Even though Skinwalkers are only supposed to be from the one, New Mexico would be the place to run into a Skinwalker. Yeah, but who? Okay, someone here says, what's the story of La Llorona? Never heard of this. So I guess there's one person. But the OP says, it's a very popular entity in Mexico and other Latin countries. To keep it brief, she drowned all of her kids and committed suicide. Her spirit wanders the streets accompanied by a longing wailing of her wanting her kids. It's common to hear her before somebody dies, almost like La Santa Muerte. Okay, so it's an omen, I guess, for the OP.
So. La Santa...
Well, did somebody die?
Oh yeah, I guess that's an important aspect to the story we should expect. Is that anyone who sees this woman, the end of the story should always be, and then my grandmother died. She was 105.
And then the family's dog died. It was a 27-year-old dog.
No, we both just watched
the Odyssey.
The Odyssey. Oh, Argos, no. The Odyssey was one of the first books I ever finished.
Jesus.
Yeah. And it was such a heavy read for the time that I read it, but I was so interested and I was like, I have to finish this. And I had pushed that dog out of my mind. And then when they introduced that dog in the movie, it all came rushing back and I was like, fuck! Yeah, I was very upset. I was like, we're going to have to see this dog die now.
It's very subtle in the movie. So.
Yeah, the book it was a huge deal. And in the book, or in the movie, it was just kind of it wagged its tail and then
it's gone.
Yeah, a character is just we'll bury the dog. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I was expecting is at least something else to happen after this story, besides the fact that they didn't sleep for the rest of the night.
Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte, often shortened to Santa Muerte, is a new religious movement, female deity, folk Catholic saint, and folk saint in Mexican folk Catholicism, and neo-paganism, folks. A personification of death, she is associated with healing, protection, and safe delivery to the afterlife by her devotees. Despite the condemnation by the Catholic Church and evangelical Protestant denominations, her following has become increasingly prominent since the turn of the 21st century.
Yeah, so are you familiar with how like the cartels have kind of formed their own religion around like folk magic?
No, what?
And so yeah, they'll worship entities like Santa Muerte and like just essentially saints and gods that give them the power of like immortality or the power of death over other people. It's like a weird like psychological thing that they use to scare their enemies essentially. But I think they actually literally believe all this stuff too. So it's pretty crazy.
That's something I never would have considered. I try my best to not even think about the cartel because I think they'll know.
Yeah, it's
like if I Google anything, it's going to be them and not the FBI that's watching me.
Yeah, I feel more of a threat from the cartels than the FBI, and not in like a kind of racist way. I just feel like the cartel's more competent than the FBI at this point.
Yes, they're certainly more effective.
Yeah, and we lived in Texas, like all parts of Texas, so who knows what's going on over there. Do you want to read this next comment? This one's a little long. It looks like a story. Man, half of these fucking comments are from deleted accounts.
Yeah, like Llorona got them.
Yeah.
The one that begins with "I'm pretty sure."
Yeah.
Okay. Posted by deleted 7 years ago and edited 7 years ago, and the edit is at the very bottom. It says this. This is what it says. I'm pretty sure I saw La Llorona when I was a child as well. I was about 9, and I was becoming kind of a rebel by staying up late, not abiding by my curfew, the usual. One day, I was out riding my bike around my neighborhood with a friend when the sun had started to go down. We were a little lost due to the dark, but we started to remember our way when we came across a ravine. The classic, the landmark, a ravine, where we would catch frogs. It was then we saw a woman dressed in white standing in the ravine. That's no frog. That's not what it says. She was so noticeable since she was heavily contrasted against the dark blue hues of the ravine at night. At that moment, we didn't really think much of it. Take a drink. Because we had never heard the story of La Llorona before. Eventually, we made it to our separate houses and said goodbye. When I walked into my house, my parents were pretty annoyed with me, so they sent me up to my room and told me to go to bed. Of course, I didn't go to sleep, and instead, I just goofed off in my room doing random things. Long after my parents had sent me to my room, long after my parents had sent me to my room, and after my parents had gone to bed, I heard what sounded like a coyote howling. Is that a link?
Yes.
Why is that a hyperlink? If you've ever heard this sound before, it's extremely unsettling and can sound like crying. Coyotes were pretty common in my neighborhood, so although they sounded creepy, I was used to them. Usually when I heard the coyotes, I would... Do you say coyotes or coyotes?
I say coyotes.
Okay. Instead, I saw the same woman my friend and I had seen on our bike ride home. She didn't look up at me or any horror movie stuff like that. She was just walking down the street. It really creeped me out, but like I said, I didn't know who La Llorona was at the time. I didn't tell my parents until much later because I didn't want them to be mad at me for staying up past my bedtime. It wasn't until a few years later, this guy's like 20. It wasn't until a few years later that I heard the story and made the possible connection. Edit. Added a video of coyotes howling.
Yes, that's what that
that's
link
the
was.
link. I see.
Wait, now, I get my experience with coyotes. I say coyotes most of the time because I lived in Texas for a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, we often say coyotes.
That was my first experience with them. But my experience with them is yipping. I'd hear them yipping in the distance.
Yes.
Not necessarily howling. At least not in a way that would... Okay, yeah. I literally just clicked on the video. This sounds more like yipping to me than like crying.
Oh, that's a... Yes. Oh, I'm having weird flashbacks to this.
It kind of sounds like like a dog barking over a siren, you know?
To no one's surprise, I used to live in a lot of trailers. And there was a place just outside of Decatur, Texas, where I lived in a trailer house. And there really wasn't anything around. There was a gas station called Cousins that we could go to and get like do very, very brief shopping. But if Cousins. But if we had to do like any like substantial shopping, we had to drive like 30 minutes to an hour to get, to like a Walmart. But anyway, I would hear this shit all the fucking time, and it drove me insane.
It's pretty common because there's a lot of nothing out in fucking Texas.
Oh man, and it was compounded. I had a neighbor who bred wolf dogs, and those wolf dogs would get in on the action, and like they were kept in like an 18-foot tall like fenced area, and they get huge. But any time that they heard the coyotes, they would join in. But that was actual howling. That was kind of startling before I knew what it was.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't. Maybe that was just some coyotes, man. It's kind of weird that years later you'd be like, maybe that was La Llorona. Oh, no. Where was this at?
Long?
I was 9. Also, why are you sneaking out at 9? What are you doing besides just walking around?
Catching frogs in the ravine.
Like, okay, when I was 9, I remember being like, okay, we're going to sneak out tonight. We're going to go explore the woods or something. Never. I never fucking snuck out. By the time it was late, I'd be like, I don't really feel like doing this anymore. I just kind of want to watch Ed, Ed, and Eddie and then go to bed.
Oh, good times.
Well, okay, let's take another quick ad break, and then we can read a couple comments and maybe find something to finish out on.
Okay.
All right, let's see. There's a lot of these are just kind of personal stories. Well, here's one right here. I just posted an encounter my sister had last night. Ooh, straight to Reddit on the comments too. So take a drink.
Take a drink, folks.
But mods removed it. Well, if I was a mod, I won't believe what happened too. But I'm just going to share it in this thread because it's also related here. So last night, I was having fun reading and commenting on various replies on this story, since I enjoy reading about supernatural stuff. I went to bed just before midnight when I can no longer understand what I'm reading due to sleepiness. I'm sharing a bedroom with my sister, and just around 2 to 3:30 a.m., the witching hour again, take another drink. I guess the time, they're fucking guessing. I guess the time range since the living room lights were off, which means my brother was already asleep and my mother isn't awake yet. Okay, what time I don't know when your brother goes to sleep or when your mom wakes up. What do you mean?
Well, presumably the brother goes to sleep at 2 and the mom wakes up at 4.
Your brother could go to bed at any fucking time. What do you mean? And like, I don't know, when does your mom wake up? At 4 a.m.? Does she wake up at 3:30 a.m.?
Maybe she's a rural mail carrier.
Yeah, maybe she has to be at the post office at 5 a.m. Is that what time your mom woke up? to go work at the prison or whatever she did?
Yeah. Well, no. She worked at the prison all night. And then in the morning she would get home, get redressed, and then, deliver the mail.
Sorry, that was just a weird way to gauge time. I was awakened by my sister running out of our room with all her blankets and pillows. Okay. I didn't bother to ask her why she ran, and I just went back to sleep, take another drink, since the night was so calm and quiet, and I don't think there's any danger if she didn't wake me up. But she did wake you up running out of the room.
Morning get your story straight.
Morning came and she told me what happened. She heard a woman crying by our window last night. She said that her cries sounded alternately between being far and near. Okay.
Oh, weird.
And that my sister's sure it wasn't a cat in heat, since in between cries there were sobbing and shortness of breath. All right. We do have 2 female neighbors in a house about 20 feet away from ours, so it might be just them, but it'd be awkward to ask them if they were crying so loud last night.
Nah, take a chance.
Sure. I did not tell my sister that I was reading about La Llorona last night, as she is such a scaredy cat. It's highly coincidental that this happened, so I understand why my post had been removed. Edit, but if the redundant, if the La Llorona was a tulpa, which we've discussed before, I'm scared that I might have conjured it since I was so fond of its stories. Okay.
If any one person is out there worried that they have thought about a singular thing so much that they have created a tulpa, take comfort in knowing that it takes a lot of thought to create a tulpa. It would take an entire society, a culture, even across the world. Oh no.
Are we doing that with this podcast?
Oh, no. Man.
Not really.
Oh, what? 14 people are going to think too hard? I don't think so.
Let's see. Someone responded to that with, "Congrats, you just gave me the worst night of my life."
Come on. Shut up. Shut up. I'm so upset. Do you know what makes me mad? Like, obviously hyperbole is like, it can be annoying. Sometimes it has its places. But I think one of the laziest comments, or like what I'm going to call injections into a story, is, "It was so something something, it's not even funny." Like, shut the fuck up. Learn how to tell a story. I hate that so much. Most things aren't funny. Exclusively. Things can be scary or frustrating or joyful, glib or sad. Like the example I think of is like, "Oh, this store's so big, it's not even funny." Why would that be funny? Actually, I can think of a store that's so big it's humorous, but but I've never seen that.
So this next comment on the same little thread is scary. It's I know I'm late to the party, but just as a note, some killers/robbers will record and play sounds like this to lure victims out of their homes. I think that's mostly
true.
No, I think that's mostly like a I don't know, an urban legend is the wrong word, but it's like when you see those fucking posts on Facebook or TikTok where they're like, if you see a t-shirt on your car handle, run away because somebody's trying to abduct you. Those are just, they're made up. Like, obviously be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the people around you, but nobody is taking the time to fucking put something on your car to target you. It's just, I don't know. It's so convoluted. What have you met? Like, I don't know. That's the weird thing to say. Have you met somebody who's such a piece of shit that you're like, I believed they would do something like this? They're not going to think to record a sound of someone crying to lure someone out of a house. That's like evil genius movie shit, you know?
But I don't even think it would work. Like, okay, let's play the scene. All right. You really want to kidnap someone. You don't have a target, right? You're just walking down a street and you've bought yourself a boombox. But with that boombox, you also had to buy some very large D batteries. And that's heavy. And you're walking down the street and you're playing, I guess, a cassette tape of a woman crying that you also had to find or maybe record yourself. So it's you trying to sound like a woman who is sad because she drowned her own kids. And again, in this hypothetical, someone has to come outside of their home and what do you do? You like run up to them and they just close their door. Like,
well, okay, so here's the thing, right? So me personally, I'm more introverted, right? So if I hear someone crying outside my window, my first thought isn't going to be, let me go out and comfort this person.
Absolutely not.
I'm not even going to open my window and be like, hey, shut up or get out of here. I would just call the police and be like, hey, someone seems to be in distress outside my apartment. Can you come check that out? And that's the thing. Like you were describing, you'd have to get like a boombox. You would need something to one, play this on, right? And if you're using your phone, I feel like I could tell that I'm hearing something through like a phone speaker, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also weird because you hear stuff like this where it's like, you hear a baby crying in the woods so that women's motherly instincts will kick in and they'll go run to save the baby. And I'm like, no, I don't know what the fuck's in those woods. Normally you hear it as like an entity, right? Trying to lure you in.
Yeah.
Like some demonic force. But like, I don't know if people are doing that to try to lure victims in. I'm just kind of like, man, what kind of victims are you looking for, man?
Stupid ones,
I guess, right? Anyways,
let's think of the stupidest victims you can grab. It's kids, right? It's a dumb kid, but no kid is going to hear crying out in the middle of the street and think I should go toward that,
or I can do something about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
If anything, I think like, what, kids are mostly going to be with their parents, right? Or at least a
Usually.
babysitter. If they're like, hey, I hear something outside. Sure, maybe a dad will be like, okay, let me go check that out, you know? But
yeah, but the dad's going to look out the window and be like, it's a guy with a boombox.
He's going to be like, what the fuck am I looking at? It's a guy
let's call the cops now.
with pantyhose on his head and a boombox. He's holding it over his head like say anything, right?
Yeah, the end of the movie.
Okay, let's move on to that. I don't want to get too far in the weeds with that. I do like the next comment is so very short, and it simply says, "From New Mexico, we were camping in Pecos. I ran into her." Great.
That's a good story.
So LP does say, "You saw her or heard her first?" And he continues, "She grabbed me in the river. Long story, but I got away. I'm from New Mexico. Everyone has a story about her."
No. Tell the long story. That's why we're here.
Okay, there's 3 more replies in this post. OP says, "Wow, you should definitely write a post about it. It sounds very interesting." And the original commenter goes, "LOL, thank you, but it's not. Like I said, if you're from there, everyone has a story about her."
That's annoying. I'm annoyed. Consider me annoyed.
I think this is how most Reddit commenters should be. Honestly. Okay, so hold on. That last post, the long one about the person reading all these stories and their sister experienced something. Someone in that comment says, "Do you live in Mexico? And can she get me if I don't?" And someone else on this thread with the very short responses, someone says, "I'm curious, would her spirit attack anybody, or does she tend to focus on particular cultural groups?" Okay, what the fuck?
Come on, ask the question. Ask what you want to ask.
So do they go after white people? Or...
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, God. Okay, you want to read another comment?
I'll read another comment, sure. Let me see if I can find a longer one. This isn't a long one. It says, my dad's family's from Zacatecas. What is this? How do you say this?
Zacatecas.
My dad's family is from Zacatecas as well. One of these days, I hope to meet them. And that's the end of that. Sorry. A deleted user says, "Whoa, I didn't know this was a real thing. I thought it was just from Grimm. Is that a show?"
No, the Grimm Fairy. Oh, yeah, I guess Grimm is a show.
Okay. I thought this was just from Grimm. That's pretty interesting. And then another deleted user says, "Legend says she killed her kids because her husband, that she was madly in love with." Oh, okay. I see. All right. I'm going to have to try that again. Legend says she killed her kids because her husband, that she was madly in love with, had an affair and was leaving her for a younger chick. And he loved his kids more than anything in the world, as any father should. Well, okay. So to get back at him, she drowned them and then regretted it and jumped in the river herself, desperately looking for them, and drowned herself till this very day. She's still out there looking for her children in every river. Space, canal. Let's see.
Thanks for that info, guy.
I really like the no commas in that story, except for the very end, and used inappropriately. Someone says, "I saw her on Netflix."
I guess the movie is on Netflix. Someone here just says, personally, I don't believe in paranormal stuff, but I always find them fun to read.
Yeah.
Why comment? You know?
Like, that's the point of this show, right? But like, I don't know. It's not like we're going to comment that on every post we read.
Yeah. It's like, well, here's a story from this subreddit. That was neat. Here's the next story. I don't know, maybe have some input, you know? Someone responded to that guy and said, "Do you believe in aliens? I have a friend who doesn't believe in the paranormal, but is convinced aliens are real." There's 14 replies in this thread.
Jesus, what?
I think this is the original commenter because it's another deleted account, but it says, "Yes, I believe, yes, aliens aren't paranormal though, so it's not contradictory."
Oh, okay.
And this person says, "Not sure if I believe in aliens, but for sure paranormal. But either way, both of them also scare the shit out of me. So much unknown." Oh my gosh, so many people are responding to that. But okay, I guess we could leave this post at that. A few stories in there, all pretty different. Much like the different Latino, I don't even know, Latinx, what the fuck do they want to be called nowadays? Latin American cultures have different different variations of La Llorona. Most of these commenters also had their own varying experiences. But okay, do we want to try to wrap this episode up some kind of... I tried to look up like a fun Ask Reddit involving crying or something, but as you can imagine, it's mostly sad shit. So.
Yeah. Here, let me go to eBay and I'm gonna type in La Llorona. Oh god.
I wonder how many copies of the DVD will appear.
Oh, that's a good point. Let's see here. We got a 2025 Barbie Dia de... Oh, it's actually wrong. They said it wrong here. Dia de Muertos, designer doll La Llorona, Mattel Creations. There are plenty of La Llorona Barbie dolls being sold for quite a bit. Holy shit. Mattel Barbie signature Dia de Muertos La Llorona doll, 12-inch gothic horror for $300. There's one very similar for $400. There's some pop figures of La Llorona, which I feel like maybe that's not very culturally sensitive. Couple DVDs
from
that
the movie, huh?
Does make sense. Oh, okay. Wait, is it?
There's what is this? A VHS tape from a Mexican movie titled La Llorona.
Oh, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Clearly I've never heard of this. This is in black and white. What year is this from? See if I can find a description here. This is from 1960. DVDs. New. Is there any information on the movie itself? Felipe and Margarita get married and have a boy named Jorgito. Her uncle Gerardo tells them about a curse that affects the firstborn boy in the family. Quality 8 out of 10. I don't know if that's the quality of the tape or the movie.
The film is really held up this whole time.
It's 75 minutes long and in black and white. Let's see if I can maybe find this movie on IMDb. If I look up La Llorona, it's mostly going to be the the movie from 2019.
Probably.
There's also a movie from 2019 called The Curse of La Llorona, which I think is the mainstream one. But there's another one here just called La Llorona. And then, they're making a sequel called The Revenge of La Llorona.
Come
it's supposed
on.
to come out sometime next year. Yep, here it is, the one from the 1960s. Let's see if there's a longer synopsis. Nope, same synopsis. Is there any trivia on here? Oh, okay, here's some reviews. Okay, it has a 5.8 on IMDb. There's only 4 reviews, so I think we can get it through them pretty quick. This first one is a 5 out of 10. It says, incredibly overwrought and troubling effort. Okay, I guess that was it.
Okay. All right, like the effort was overwrought?
I guess so. This person here says, toys aren't alive. They don't even have blood. That's a quote from the movie, I'm guessing. Generally considered the definitive screen version of the oft-filmed legend. Once again, she does remarkably little crying, but at least in this telling, she makes a much scarier noise, and the film also dispenses with the bizarre digressions of the first version and makes dramatic use of locations. What the fuck are you saying, guy? This is a white dude too, by the way. But
yes.
What really gives it the edge is the extraordinary presence of Maria Elena Marquez, reincarnated as a black-clad nanny in black with incredible eyebrows, combining the craziness of Betty Davis in the title role of The Nanny, who had an equally weird scene bathing her young charge in the Hammer production. Okay, with the elegant menace and craziness of Billy Whitelaw in The Omen. That guy gave it 6 out of 10. Let's see, this guy here says, Bad Mama. This is a literal retelling of the crying woman legend. She didn't even write it out in Spanish. Present in many Latin American countries, a symbol of the native woman who betrayed her people by becoming the mistress of a conquistador, and also of the bad mother, in this case, a very bad mother, a la Medea, who kills the children she had with her Spanish lover. Taking part from Carmen Toscano's stage play, the film is set... Oh my god, fucking...
Come on.
IMDb reviewers are the fucking worst, huh? Let me see if I can find this on Letterboxd, but...
I was literally going to suggest that.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely a younger crowd on Letterboxd, because I feel like a lot of these are from... Well, no, the white dude that I read that gave it 6 out of 10, that was from 2022. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's got a 3.3 on Letterboxd. There's 91 reviews. A lot of them are pretty long, and a lot of them are in Spanish, surprisingly. This one says 2 stars. La Llorona, more like La Mujer aburrida hasta las lágrimas. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I want to do this justice. La Llorona, more like La Mujer aburrida hasta las lágrimas, which just means...
rolls off the tongue.
It's like the crying woman, more like the woman who's bored to tears, essentially, is what that translates to.
Oh.
This person gave it 4.5 stars. A startling performance by gorgeous Maria Elena Marquez makes this elegantly photographed retelling of La Llorona legend extremely watchable. Okay.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, a lot of 3+ stars. Let's see if I can find another bad review. This one, most of them are in Spanish, like I said. So, this guy gave it 2.5 stars, or this woman gave it 2.5 stars and said, Mexican Looney Tunes, dead ass. All right.
Mexican Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
Now that sounds funny.
Trying to see if there's any more in English. Oh, this one gave it 4 stars and a little heart, says, great eyebrows acting, great drama. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. Maybe we'll have to watch this for our cryptid movie club at some point.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Hopefully it has subtitles.
Fingers crossed.
But okay, I guess that'll do it for us. Unless you got something else.
You know, I've got not a single thing. I've been looking for more like for sale stuff with like the theme of Llorona, but it's mostly just the movie or some kind of doll.
For shame.
I guess that's gonna have to do it for this That Thread podcast, that themed episode. I'd like to say thank you to Dale Spalding and Ender Music for our intro, as well as Sean from thatsean.com for our podcast art. But thank you for listening. You're not a spirit looking for children with which to drown because you're upset about a husband who, I guess, loved another woman more than you. If you have any suggestions for spooky subreddits, websites, or even a story you'd like us to read from, go ahead and drop those suggestions in the comments, or you could send them directly to us for this show at PONDPOD on Reddit.
Yeah. And if you're enjoying the show, you can do a couple things for us, such as leave a 5-star rating and review or a comment on whatever platform you listen on. You can also check out some of the other stuff we do, such as Sequel Factory, where we watch a movie and pitch an idea for a sequel that nobody asked for with our good friend Jet Kuso. You can also catch Mr. R and Mr. E on the Dirty 22 for some D&D fun. And we've been a paranormal dudes ever in need of stories to intrigue, perplex, maybe even frighten. So remember, if you can't explain it, it's a guy with a boombox outside your window. Maybe. And until next time, stay tuned and stay not in New Mexico, I guess. I don't know.
Get out of New Mexico!
Yeah, if everybody's got a La Llorona story out there, maybe don't go there.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, there's something going on. All right, bye, everybody.
Goodbye.